the kitchen light flickered for the third time that week. I heard it again. Not the front door, not the loose window frames, but that deep, dragging sound. It came from below, from the basement. Midnight. The clock blinked, shorra, like a quiet warning, as if time itself was waiting for something to begin. Some sounds don't pass through walls. They pass through layers. Memory, flesh, sanity. I didn't get up right away. I felt it first, a creeping warmth, not on my skin, but beneath it, like damp air soaking into your clothes, slowly. You know that kind of feeling, when the room changes, when silence becomes a presence. It was like the house was holding its breath. That door in the laundry room floor had always been there, always closed, always forgotten. It became part of the background, like a scar beneath a shirt. But that night it was open, just a crack, 2 inches at most. And yet, it felt like a whisper carved into wood. Come see what you buried. Curiosity. No, not anymore. Curiosity is just the clean name we give to the urge to suffer, to poke at the wound before it heals. The real question wasn't, what's down there? It was, why do I need to know so badly? Midnight is the blind spot of the day. It's not yesterday anymore, and not quite today. A frozen second where time holds its breath. And in that pause, where no decision should ever be made, I found my hand already on the rusted doorknob. The doorknob, cold, wet, covered in some dew that had no source. It smelled like a grave, like a womb, like emotional rot. Each slight turn echoed, not in the basement, in me. And I realized the basement wasn't a place. It was a mirror turned inward, a container for everything I refused to process. It wasn't gone. It had just sunk. Have you read Poe? Not the lines people quote for aesthetic. I mean the spaces between them. In The Fall of the House of Usher, the terror doesn't come from what you see. It comes from what the house feels like. From the moisture, the creaking, the way the air feels like lungs. And in The Telltale Heart, the sound doesn't come from the dead man. It comes from the mind that couldn't bury guilt deep enough. That night, the knob turned too easily, because I didn't open it. The memory did. The need to repeat the pain, not to solve it, but to recognize it. To say, I remember. The basement was dark. Of course it was. But I swear, I saw a light in there. The real question isn't what I saw. It's this. What if what you call curiosity is just a quiet wish to find your own undoing? I went down, but not with my body. I went down with my mind. And now, the door won't shut. Each step creaked like a countdown. The kind that doesn't lead to an explosion. Just a revelation. The air thickened as I descended. It wasn't heavier. It was slower. Like syrup. Like I was sinking. The basement was small but felt like it expanded the longer I breathed. The walls wept. Mold grew like veins. The scent of mildew, plastic, and old cardboard pulled something ancient out of my chest. It wasn't the space that was suffocating. It was the memory. There were no windows, just a single flickering bulb swinging gently, as if something had moved past it a second before I looked. I saw shapes in the corners that had no business being there. Not real shapes, emotional ones. Like grief with a spine, or shame with arms. Darkness doesn't hide fear. It reveals what light tricks us into forgetting. I wasn't afraid of being alone. I was afraid that I wasn't. Basements don't keep secrets. They echo the screams no one let you say. And in that echo, I heard my name, not with my ears, with my guilt. There's a smell from childhood that nothing erases. In that basement it returned. Sour wood, damp plastic, and something too familiar to name. I saw it then. A broken doll. A locked door inside a locked memory. A voice that told me not to tell. People say curiosity is harmless. But digging into what terrifies you isn't innocence. It's a compulsion. What if some doors weren't locked to trap what's inside, but to keep you from stepping into it? The voice came back. A whisper, repeating fragments that didn't fit together logically, but landed like stones in my stomach. You ever had that kind of memory? Not clear, just heavy. Scratches on the wall. Too symmetrical. Too old. The kind of mark that doesn't come from rats. The kind that comes from people. In psychology, forbidden doors represent trauma thresholds. Open them, and you risk remembering things your mind sealed for survival. Like Pandora's box. Only this time, you're the one inside. Time didn't tick down there. It stretched. Everything moved too slow or too fast. Shadows lagged. Smells came and went without cause. Sounds didn't echo right. My brain started filling in gaps. A broom handle became a silhouette. Dripping water became a faint sob. It's called perceptual distortion. But I didn't care for the name. All I knew was my senses betrayed me. I spoke out loud. Hello, and the sound of my voice felt wrong, like hearing a recording from another life. That's the danger. When you start looking for evidence of what scares you, you'll find it, but you lose something in return. Reality gets quieter, and the echo of the basement gets louder. I left the basement, but something in me didn't. The door is closed, but I still feel the draft, a breath, a pull, as if part of my mind stayed down there, listening. I started seeing basement shadows everywhere, in the hallway at night, in the microwave's reflection, in the sound of water draining too slowly. They call it involuntary recall, but it's not just memory, it's invasion. I had to accept it. That the basement isn't under my house. It's under my skin. And pretending you didn't see something doesn't mean it's not watching you. There's a moment that stays with me. Not a face, not a voice, a presence. It smells like rot and metal. It feels like standing too close to your own grief. And it leaks through delayed reaction when you feel terror but seconds too late. Through unexplained pain, aches that come from nowhere, but feel like old wounds. Through obsession, the need to go back, not to discover, but to confirm it was real. What if what I let out that night never left me? Now, I only visit that basement in dreams, but it's always the same. Same air, same steps, same silence. At the bottom, there's a face, not a monster. Not a ghost. It's me. Older. Emptier. Shirley Jackson once wrote that horror lives in what should feel safe. And the basement was always part of the house. Part of me. The real fear wasn't what I saw when I opened that door. It was knowing I was right to be afraid. That the darkness didn't bring something new. It showed me what was already waiting. And whatever's down there may have never come out, but I did, and I brought it with me, forever.